This is Local 23 News Midday.
Hello and welcome to Local 23 News Midday. I'm Sydney Gray. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, new at 11, the Supreme Court rules that a Pennsylvania public school wrongly suspended a cheerleader over a vulgar social media post. The court voted 8-1 in favor of Brandy Levi. The 14-year-old high school freshman went on a tirade over not making the varsity cheerleading team on Snapchat. Levi was not in school when she made her post, but was suspended from cheerleading activities for a year anyway. The high court ruled the suspension violated Levi's First Amendment rights. In your immigration news today, there's new criteria for people in the MPP program, and it goes into effect today. The Department of Homeland Security is expanding the pool of people who are eligible to be processed to come into the U.S. This will include people who have had their cases terminated. For more details on the agency's expansion, head on over to valleycentral.com. Migrants waiting to seek asylum in the U.S. want President Joe Biden to end a program that automatically deports them called Title 42. Many say they face violence and discrimination if they return to their home countries. Right now, hundreds of families remain camped in Mexico just across the border from McAllen, and advocacy groups and UN officials say the policy is subjecting migrants to the same dangers as the policies of the Trump administration.
We believe that it is possible to both protect public health of the U.S. in this case, or public health, as well as protect that ability to seek asylum and seek access to territory in terms of the claims to asylum.
Since last October, U.S. Border Patrol has expelled more than 640,000 migrants under the authority, according to agency data. A White House spokesperson says Title 42 was a public health directive to keep COVID numbers down, not an immigration enforcement tool. Advocacy groups here in the RGV are also calling for Title 42 to end, since the U.S. now has access to millions of COVID vaccines. Alrighty, it's 11:02 and hot and a little sticky outside, Freddie.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, it's going to feel like that from now on. However, for those out towards Cameron County, a little bit of rain. In fact, take a look right now out of our high-resolution radar. All the activity we saw has already started to diminish. A few showers kind of made their way on in. Still a little drizzly depending on where you're at right now. Mostly out towards South Padre Island, Port Isabel, and Brownsville. Temperatures right now still within the 80s. 80 degrees out towards Rio Grande City, 81 in McAllen, 79 degrees and Harlingen and 78 in Brownsville. So slow start to the temperatures, but they will continue to rise. And over the next few days, it's just going to get even hotter. I'll have an update coming up in about 10 minutes.
Thank you so much, Freddie. President Joe Biden will reveal his anti-crime strategy today, focusing especially on gun crimes. The president's strategy is part of an effort to stem the rise in homicides across our nation. President Biden will share how his administration is taking steps to reduce crime. He'll also address rising crime in U.S. cities that's taken place over the past 18 months. And continuing with that dramatic surge in gun violence across the country, NBC's Garrett Hockey reports on the White House's new strategy to address the problems.
This morning, President Biden set to announce new strategies to respond to growing gun violence across the country, according to White House officials. In a speech later today, the president will unveil a plan that includes stemming the flow of firearms, providing law enforcement with more resources, investing in community violence interventions, expanding employment opportunities, and helping incarcerated people re-enter communities. The new plan will also allow communities experiencing surges in violence to use the $350 billion in state and local funding included in the American Rescue Plan to fund community policing strategies. In April, President Biden addressed the violence in a speech announcing executive actions on gun access after weeks of high-profile mass shootings.
This is an epidemic, for God's sake, and it has to stop.
Major cities have seen a surge in gun violence in the wake of the COVID pandemic. Some estimates show a 30% increase in homicides last year. Republicans have been quick to paint the president as soft on the issue.
From coast to coast, American families are facing an explosion of violent crime on their streets and in their neighborhoods.
Some Democrats have also pushed the White House on the topic and have called on the president to make police reform a bigger legislative priority.
All right, moving right on over to more news today. 8 Collin County detention officers will not face criminal charges after an inmate died while in their custody. And we're moving on over to another story. Sorry for that technical difficulty there. Things happen on live TV. Well, happening today, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi will join the family of Vanessa Guillen to announce the Vanessa Guillen Military Justice Improvement and Increasing Prevention Act. The bill creates steps to make a more professional and transparent military justice system for serious crimes, including rape, sexual assault, and murder, among others. The bill also addresses the need for sexual assault prevention. Other news across Texas, the woman at the center of a now dismissed lawsuit against Houston Methodist Hospital has a new job. Now, we don't know the name of the company, but the Washington Post reports Jennifer Bridges works at a private nurse staffing agency. Bridges was one of dozens of nurses who refused to get vaccinated against COVID-19 per company policy. Bridges filed the lawsuit on the nurses' behalf, claiming the policy was unlawful and forced staffers to be, quote, guinea pigs for vaccines that do not have full FDA approval. The employees who complied and got vaccinated are now back at work. Well, back to the story that we were just telling you about. 8 Collin County detention officers will not face criminal charges after an inmate died while in custody. A grand jury ruled there was no probable cause to fire the officers for violating department policies and procedures. Martin Scott was arrested in March for possession of marijuana. Scott had been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and while at the Collin County Jail, he became combative, which prompted the officers to restrain him. Officers used pepper spray and put a spit mask on Scott. He was eventually found unresponsive and taken to a hospital where he died. A second person has been charged in connection to the death of a 5-year-old Houston boy whose body was hidden in a storage unit before being discovered in an East Texas motel. The Harris County DA's office says 28-year-old Benjamin Rivera has been charged by Houston police with tampering with evidence, a human corpse. Rivera is a roommate, or was a roommate rather, of Teresa Balboa, who was the girlfriend of Samuel Olson's father. She was charged earlier this month with the same count. Coming up, Valley residents battle the heat. Health experts are offering tips to keep your family safe this summer. And Sea Turtle Inc. will be out in the community this week showing off some sea turtles where you and your family can go to learn more about the reptiles in our area. Stay with us.